Hey everybody, how's it going? Tooth here, 14 Jan 2025. Someone sent me a question, messaged me, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it on this video. Am I a professional gunsmith or gun manufacturer or anything like that? No, I am not. I am a mechanic that works on heavy equipment and trucks full time, and I used to do hot rodding back in the day when I was younger. And I went through some life changes and I got bit by the gun bug because I like hunting, and I found out I really like hunting. And over the years, it is something I have found that really relaxes me way more than putting a damn car together or a hot rod truck. So, with that question being answered, yes, we have put a few guns together for people. We do put our own guns together now, especially AR-15s. We have found them for hunting applications to be a very versatile piece of equipment and all of that good stuff. So, all that's out of the way. Let's go into our information dump. So, I watched a video the other day, competition of the poverty ponies or poors or whatever you want to call it, by an individual, and I'm not going to disagree with any of the information the individual put out. I agree with them 100%. I am not a fan of the $300 to $400 AR. It's kind of one of them deals, you get what you pay for. But he left himself with a question at the end of his video because he was using a XM193 55 grain and then the 77 grain OTM match. And while he was doing his shooting, what he found out is dang near all 5 of the guns was grouping the 55 grain together better than the 77 grain. And for a lot of us that use ARs, we're kind of one of our go-tos is going to the 77 grain OTM match. Is Black Hills still the standard? I don't know. I don't buy much of it. I'm a kind of a Federal fan myself. But what I do know that might answer his question is, like I said, we put guns together for ourselves, and we've done some for a couple of others. One of the first guns we put together was actually one of the ones I was most proud of once we figured it out, was a retro AR-15 to look like an M16 base model, which was what was issued in Vietnam, all the way down to the barreling, rifle, all that stuff, or the rifle and the barreling, I'm sorry. We did everything we could to get it as correct as possible, to the point of spending $200 to $300 on a handguard that we found online that was actually had the Mattel stamp like it did in Vietnam. Some of y'all don't realize some of those plastic parts were made by Mattel for Colt and AR Stoner. So that was one of our coolest things we've done. Is it the best gun we've done? No, or most practical gun we've done? No, but it was the coolest one in my mind. But what we did find out in doing research to put this thing together is it came with the 1 in 12 twist rate on a 20-inch barrel. And so that's what we're going to kind of talk about, is twist rates and bullets today. What we did find out on the 1 in 12 twist rate, it did not like anything but a 55 grain. We put a gun together to make sure it works for someone else. We run about 30 to 60 rounds to make sure everything functions properly. Excuse me, trying to fight a sneeze. The 1 in 12 did not like 62 grain, and that's what I had for the longest time around here. And doing the research, going back and looking at Vietnam era stuff, 55 grain was the ammo that was issued during the 60s and the 70s. And I don't know when they switched to the M855 for the military. I didn't do that much digging, but that was what we found out, is it like 55 grain, and that was about it. Personally, for me, when I got my first AR-15, I think I might have touched on this a little bit. I wasn't a fan of the 223, and I really didn't know that at that point in time there was a difference between 223 and 5.56, which is just pressures and bullet speeds is the big thing. So my first AR-15 I bought was a DPMS with the 1 in 9, and I think it was IMI 55 grain hollow points that I bought or got my hands on, and with a 1 in 9 twist rate, I was doing half to 1 MOA, and I was like, okay, it's an accurate plinking gun when I first bought it, until I was actually forced to use it and figured out what that, even a Full Metal Jacket 55 grain would do, or 62 grain out of that. But for the most part, what we found out with the 1-9 twist rate, which I know kind of said was talking 5.56 chamberings, but I did finally get around playing with it and finding a 223 round that worked for it. That was really great for hunting hogs and deer and coyotes and stuff like that. But the 1-9 twist rate, it likes the light and slow bullets, 55 grain nozzlers and stuff like that, and chambered in 223. So that was actually a pretty interesting deal. As I progress on, going through some of the stuff, I'll explain some of the stuff we ran into. But after kind of getting bit by the AR-15 bug, I was like, okay, this is pretty versatile. It's a pretty usable system. We might want to look at doing some other things and maybe upgrading and hopping off the DPMS line and going up. And plus, it was just a bare bones DPMS, no dust cover, no forward assist. And I did find myself needing the forward assist a couple of times, and not having one was kind of frustrating. So I did wind up buying another gun, thinking it would be okay. And it was one of the Poverty Ponies this guy had. And back in the day, I paid less than $400 for the gun. And it was an Anderson, chambered in 1-8 and 223 Wild. Now, what I did find out about the 223 Wild, which kind of replaced the 1-9 over time on the market from what I've seen, is, it likes the light, fast bullets. 62 grain, you're kind of starting to push it where it likes to open up. 55 grain, like XM 193, yeah, I was getting about 2-inch groups out of it. I wasn't really happy with it, because if it's not a 1-inch MOA or 1-inch grouping, I'm not a fan of that gun. But for what I paid for is what I got, and we did do some work to it later on, and then we did get it to tighten up. Maybe that's one of the advantages of the Poverty Ponies, is you buy a cheap gun and you can deck it out the way you want and do a couple modifications here and there and really get something decent out of the deal, and probably still definitely come out better than some of your high tier guns. But like I said, the 1-8, we found out like high pressure rounds, the 5.56 loadings, light bullets, getting up around 62. It's really starting to open up. For most part, what we do around here, jumping onto the next barrel, we do 1-7 twist. It's not a good fan of the 55 grain, but I can get it into standards regularly. I'm on the average with the Roscoe barrel 1-7 twist I'm running right now. I'm doing 1.5 to 2 MOA on the average with this 55 grain. I go up to the M855 ball, which I'll never be able to explain the M855 ball 100%, other than it's just a powder charge issue, since it's not really quality controlled. It's just bulk ammo being produced. I'm dropping down to 1 and 1.5 MOA on the average. And the only reason I'm saying 1.5 MOA is because it seems like every time I shoot a string of them dudes, 5 to 10 rounds, I get 1 or 2 flyers that open the group up. So, like I said, I don't think it's the gun. I don't think it's me. I think it's just M855 ball in general, and it doesn't matter what gun I use, it does it. I don't know, every string, it seems like it does it. But if I go into, we've had some 62 grain hunting loads come through here that a buddy of mine made for me. And yeah, they're half MOA, but those are single hand loaded rounds. Going up to the 68 to 77 grains, I've really had a lot of luck. Those are definitely 1 MOA or less, depending if it's like a bulk ammo type thing or a hand load. But like with the 77 grain bulk ammo 1-7 twist rate, we're hardly ever, if it breaks 1 MOA, and more than likely it's me. It's not the gun and it's not the ammo. So there you go. So, but just to kind of do a recap and cut it down real quick, 1-12 twist rate, it likes fast light bullets, XM 193, and that's about all it likes. 1-9 twist rate, which you hardly ever see anymore, likes the light slow bullets, your 223 hunting loads and stuff like that. 1-8 223 Wild, it likes the light fast bullets. And then 1-7 is just kind of like an overall general purpose rifling. So if you're going for accuracy and stuff like that, know what ammo you're shooting, figure out twist. Once you figure that out, then you can figure out what twist rate you want. For me, overall, I like the heavier bullets, like the 77 grain and stuff like that. So I'm always going to recommend the 1 in 7 twist rate. So I hope this is information that helps you all out. Y'all have a good one. And I got to go do something else now, I think. Later.